If you're a mid-level to C-suite leader who wants to own your growth and figure out your next small, brave move to achieve your leadership goals, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Small Brave Moves podcast, a weekly deep dive on how to be braver in leadership and in life for exceptional results. I'm your host, Nicole Bianchi, best-selling author, certified master executive coach, NSA certified speaking professional, chief bravery officer, and tough talk expert. If you're ready to become a better, braver, and more authentic leader, let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to the Small Brave Moves podcast. So let's just get this out of the way. AI is not your problem, your leadership is. And I know that's not what most people are saying. Most conversations are about the right tools, the right prompts, strategy, implementation inside organizations, and there's completely different story playing out. AI adoption is stalling, not because the tech isn't ready, not because your people can't learn it, but because people are scared and leaders are avoiding that reality. And here's the part that should concern you the most. Your team already knows that. So today, we're not talking about AI strategy. We are talking about the leadership gap that's quietly killing it and what it's actually going to take to fix it. So here's the problem. Let's talk about what's really happening here. Yes, companies are investing heavily in AI. You see it everywhere. Yes, on paper, adoption looks high, but most of it isn't going anywhere. Nearly 2/3 of organizations are stuck in pilot mode, running experiments, seeing the potential, and then nothing. No scale, no transformation, no real impact. And here's where it gets really uncomfortable. McKinsey looked at this, and their conclusion was blunt. Employees are not the barrier. Leadership is. But instead of owning that, leaders are doing something else. They're blaming their teams. C-suite leaders are more than twice as likely to say, our people are just not ready. Their people are already using AI and just not telling them. Now, layer this on top. Only 22% of workers globally feel confident that their job is safe. Not 50, not even close, 22. So let's be honest about what's happening inside your organization right now. People are experimenting quietly, second-guessing themselves constantly, and wondering if any of this is going to make them irrelevant. So instead of addressing that, most leaders are rolling out tools and hoping for adoption. That's not a strategy. That's avoidance. And your team can feel it. So no, this isn't a tech problem. It's a courage problem. Let's break down exactly where that's showing up. So number one, you're building skill without building confidence. Here's the disconnect that people are having. AI usage is going up, confidence is going down, and that should stop you. Your people are using tools they don't fully understand, hoping they just don't screw it up. And that's not adoption. That's anxiety in action. And more training, it won't fix it. Because confidence doesn't come from information. It comes from permission. Permission to try, permission to be wrong, permission to not have it all figured out yet. And if you're not modeling that, well, you're reinforcing the fear. And if your team thinks you expect them to get it right with AI, they will hesitate every time. Number two, you're ignoring the fear and calling it resistance. So let's name this one clearly. What you're calling resistance is fear. Fear of being replaced, fear of looking behind, fear of asking a dumb question in a room where everyone's pretending they understand. And when you don't name that, well, you create silence. And silence kills adoption because no one's going to raise their hand and say, hey, I don't understand this and I'm worried about my future. unless you make it safe to say that. And right now, most environments aren't safe. They're performative. Everyone's nodding and no one's being honest. Number 3, you want innovation, but you're still punishing mistakes. And this is where things really break. Leaders say, oh, I want innovation, but what they actually reward, well, it's control, predictability, not getting it wrong. And that just doesn't work with AI. AI requires experimentation, messiness, inefficiency, imperfection, experimentation. And if your culture punishes that even subtly, well, you will not innovate. You will optimize what already exists and call it progress. Number 4, you're waiting and calling it strategy. Now let's talk about this one. A lot of leaders right now are just waiting. They're waiting for clearer use cases, waiting for better tools, waiting to see what others do, waiting to be told what to do. And they call that being thoughtful. It's not, it's fear with a nicer label, because here's what's actually happening. While you're waiting, your competitors are learning faster, your team's disengaging, and the gap's just getting wider. Speed in the moment is not reckless. It's necessary. And speed requires courage. Number 5, you're creating confusion, and guess what? You're calling it alignment. AI is changing everything, roles, workflows, expectations. And most teams are operating without a clear direction. So what are we actually using AI for? What's okay to experiment with? What's off limits? What does success even look like? And if you haven't clearly answered those, well, you don't have alignment. You have ambiguity. And ambiguity creates hesitation. So let's be very clear about the cost of this. If you don't lead differently right now, you will not just fall behind. You will lose your most adaptable people first, because they'll go somewhere where they can grow. And you'll keep your most risk-adverse people because they'll wait for direction. They're waiting for you. And you'll build a culture that looks stable, but it's actually stuck. So you'll invest in AI tools and get minimal return, not because the tools don't work, but because your culture can't support them. That is an expensive mistake. So what do? If this is hitting and you don't need a 12-month roadmap to do this, okay? You just need to act this week. Here's where I want you to start. Number 1, say what everyone's thinking, but no one's saying. Say, we're not struggling with AI because of capability. We're struggling because we haven't created clarity or safety around it yet. And that changes now. Watch what happens when you say that out loud. Number 2, go first publicly. Show your team how you're using AI, where you're confused, where you're getting it wrong. If you're polished, they'll know you're performing. But if you're real, they'll engage with you on this. Number 3, replace training with experimentation. Don't just send people to a workshop. Create this instead. A 30-day AI experiment. Try one new use case per week. Share what worked, share what didn't. Make the learning visible for everyone. So, this is not just a tech shift. This is a leadership test, and most organizations are trying to pass it with strategy, when what they actually need is courage. So that's why this keynote exists, Brave the Shift, because AI doesn't fail in organizations, leadership does. And the leaders who figure this out, well, they're not the ones with the best tools. They're the ones willing to go first. AI isn't slowing down. You know that. Your people are not waiting. And the gap between organizations that get this and those that don't is about to get so obvious. And here's the question. Where are you avoiding leadership right now and calling it strategy? And what are you going to do about it this week? Because This doesn't change when you understand it. It changes when you lead differently. So if this hits for you, send it to someone who needs to hear it. And if you're realizing your organization is stuck here, then we should definitely talk, because this is exactly the work I'm doing with leadership teams right now. So until next time, stop avoiding, start leading, and make the brave move. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Small Brave Moves podcast. If you're wanting to take this work even deeper, I'm here to help. From engaging in inspirational keynote speeches to transformational coaching and workshops for leaders and teams, page-turning books, online courses, and enlightening leadership development retreats. There are so many ways that we can work together to take your leadership to the next level. For more information, check out the show notes, and let's do this together. One small brave move at a time. See you next week.